Hey, now it's the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting.
Hey guys, it's me, Steve, web contributor to 1061evansville.com.
And of course, we're here with the latest edition of Post to Post. We apologize for only having one episode last week. It was a busy week here at the radio station. And but we are back, and we've got a lot to talk about, Steve, because I feel like the biggest news story over the past week, the biggest thing that has happened, would be the NXT Takeover special Respect.
Not Rusev and Lana?
not Rusev and Lana, although we can talk about that if you want to. I actually do have a lot of thoughts on Raw. We'll get to those in a minute. Let's talk about NXT first.
All right.
You watched the show?
I did watch the show. Very good.
It is getting a lot of critical praise.
Yes.
I'm curious as to what you thought of the show.
I think the main event is what sold it, and I've got more thoughts on that. I don't know how you want to tackle this, but that main event, that women's match, I don't even want to say it was a women's match. That main event was awesome. I mean, I can't say enough good things about it, and it's also the way they handled it.
As far as what?
As far as the announce team, the wrestlers themselves, the aftermath, it was all handled. It made you feel like that was special. You felt like you were witnessing something, not just a wrestling match.
Yeah, that match was fantastic. Yes. Obviously, I can't think of a better women's match that I've seen, or at least in a very long time. Yes. What they're doing with the women's division in NXT is fantastic, and what's even better is, in some ways, it bleeds into the main product on Raw.
Yes, it does.
You know, it's like the Divas Revolution, #Revolution or whatever they're calling it, is supposed to be what's happening on NXT. Yes. You know, the true main event and the match of the night was two women, which is great. The only people that are making it like an oddity, though, are the company themselves. Like, for example, it's only... You're pointing out that it's weird that they're main event. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
If you never said anything at all and you just presented the main event as it was, it just happened to be two women, I feel like that'd be doing a better service for the girls, instead of making them seem like an oddity. Like, wow, this is something crazy. Yeah. You'll never believe it, but two women can main event a wrestling show, and we're going to prove it. Instead, just do it and just present it. You know?
They do have to get away from that in the future.
I do think the shows, now that match was fantastic. I do think the shows get a little bit more love than they deserve. Mm-hmm. As a casual fan of NXT, I've said before, I watch all the Takeover specials, but I don't watch their normal weekly product. I'm inundated with wrestling right now. I've got way too much wrestling on my plate. I can't watch it every Wednesday, and I apologize. But I look forward to these Takeover specials, and they're good. You know, but there are a lot of people, it's kind of like when ECW was just starting to go national, like they could do no wrong in the eyes of the fans. And these shows, like, that to me was not an A+ show.
Oh, no.
You know, and a lot of people are saying that it was. People are super into the NXT guys because they're not big names yet. They're not overpaid yet. They're still hungry. They're still fighting just like ECW was. So to me, it was like, it was a good show, but I don't love it as much as everyone else seems to. Your thoughts, and feel free to disagree.
I mean, I do to a point. I do like it because it offers something different. And maybe that's me falling in with the crowd. It's like, ooh, a brand new toy. Let's play with this.
True, yeah.
But they do have quality.
It's doing an A+ job of what it's supposed to do.
Yes.
You know, it's bringing in people who don't always watch Raw, and it's making people happy, and it's certainly making stars. So NXT deserves an A+, to be honest with you. But every time, I don't feel like they're hitting grand slams. Also, the show was starting, it went over 2 hours, you know, and I don't need it to be more than 2 hours. Yeah. If you think about how much wrestling we're being exposed to every week, 2 hours for an NXT special is a long time, especially considering, and I have to come back to this, I loathe that Raw is 3 hours long, especially with the one that we had last night. Now, I don't know if did you watch the show last night?
I did, yes.
Last night's Raw, I thought was a bad show. Maybe you agree, disagree? Feel free to disagree.
About average. It's par for the course for Raw.
My big problem, and you know, maybe it was an average show that just had one glaring problem. I have to tell you, after all the praise I've given to the changes they've made to Kane's character and what they're doing with Kane and Seth Rollins this month, I hated everything with Kane last night. Let me explain where I'm coming from here. Everything with him talking on the phone seemed campy. Just campy and cheesy. Triple H on the, can you hear me? This kind of thing. I didn't need that. That was over the top. Everything was totally predictable. And then when corporate Kane can't wrestle, it was like everything was totally. You could see it coming down the street, a mile away, and that drove me crazy. Especially when this is playing out over 3 hours. That's the length of 2 mystery movies.
Yeah.
So it's like you're giving us this storyline at the very beginning of the show. It's how they open the show with Kane on the phone to Triple H and Stephanie, on the plane or whatever, and you know what's going to happen. And then at the end, I felt like it let me down. Personally, your thoughts?
Yeah, that story. I mean, having that start and finish the show is a big letdown. The meat of the show was, I guess, where the other stories are going. The John Cena, Dolph Ziggler.
Love that.
The Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt. I think it's coming to an end at Hell in the Cell.
Boy, I loved seeing him getting eaten up.
Yes.
Chicago ate up Roman.
Yes.
I loved that. That was a very Philadelphia-like crowd and a very Philadelphia. And what I loved, and this is both good and bad, but I loved that Roman acknowledged it. Yeah. How he was getting boring chants, he was getting boos, he was getting wadded, which I hate those what chants, but I loved it last night. Yeah. And he acknowledged all of them, and you could tell it threw him off. It definitely did.
Yes.
And because I am totally, you like Roman Reigns, don't you?
I do like Roman Reigns. He's kind of getting muddled now, but I liked where they were going with him. I want to see him get back there. I don't know what he needs to get there, but he needs to get there.
Well, I just loved that his promo last night for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that. So those are my thoughts from Raw. That was my highlight with Roman Reigns getting devoured, and my lowlight was everything involving Kane. It was just so bad, and it's not necessarily Kane's fault. Whoever that idea was just so bad to me. Yeah. It took up so much airtime of this 3-hour show to get to where it didn't need to be, in my opinion. So I didn't like that. Do you have any other thoughts that you want to mention?
I just want to bring up John Cena's my boy, and I love the fact that he stopped the match early on to give acknowledgement to the newly engaged couple in the crowd.
Cena's getting better and better.
Yes.
I really love him where he is with a secondary title, not the last match of the night, every night. He's taking some time off, I understand, here shortly. Okay. And that's, when he comes back, I'll be excited to see him because of stuff like that. I agree.
As long as he doesn't come back and win the Rumble.
That's true. I don't want him to do that to anybody but him or Reigns or whatever. But we'll get to the Rumble in January. Yes. I'm excited for that. Steve, thank you for coming by.
Of course.
For myself, the Rob, and for my tag team partner, Steve.
And now you know what the Rob is cooking.